You can't be able to read all of this, I suspect, but the top one is my autumn bill. And that autumn bill, I exported 531 kilowatt hours over the 3 months. And I imported 1,010. So for the 1,010 I imported, cost $161. For the 531 I exported, I get 60 cents for mine. They owe me $318. The net result is, over the 3 autumn months, $124 in credit. The summer bill, summer's really interesting. You produce 38% of your annual output solar over the 3 summer months. The reasons are pretty obvious. You get a lot more sun. The sun's in the sky for a much longer period during the day. And so during that period, my house was almost energy neutral. I imported 853 kilowatt hours, but I exported 756. For the amount I imported, I pay $136, but the amount I export, they owe me $453. Does that make sense to you all as I'm talking about that? So the net result is over the summer, I had a credit on my bill of $299. Now, I have a lot more solar panels than the basic system. It needs to be really clear about that. I have 28 panels on my roof, okay? So there's a reason that I'm talking to you about that, because you're going to, at some stage, have to decide what size solar system you want to put on your roof. And if you put on a 8-panel system, you'll have the advantage of, that's the sweet spot of the federal government incentive. It's where it makes the most sense. If you put on more panels, you'll get the state government incentive, this feed-in tariff. The second incentive is a state government incentive. So when you are producing electricity on your own home and you're producing more than you need, what will happen is the electricity will be exported onto the grid, and the government is going to pay you 66 cents, including GST, for what you send onto the grid, which is roughly 3 times your regular electricity price. For what you bring into your home, you'll continue to pay around 17 cents a kilowatt hour, 17 to 20 cents. So what a lot of people are doing nowadays is during the day turning everything off so the solar system can export as much as possible. And at night, on goes the dishwasher, on goes the washing machine or whatever, and so that the electricity is more effectively used. For every one you send out during the day, you can bring in. Now, here's how it works for my house. Oh, by the way, the government has said in Victoria that they're going to limit that, to cap that incentive at 100 megawatts, which is about 100,000 1 kilowatt installations. And my information says they're about 60% of the way through that already. So there's still enough time. I'm not trying to panic anyone here, but I don't know what will happen when they get to that 100 megawatts. I'm assuming they'll review it, and then we'll see where it goes. So this is a house, an average house, and this is how it works in reality. You can see on the left-hand side, that's midnight, and the house is using about 200 watts of electricity. And then you see that big spike there at 6 a.m. The house wakes up, the householders, the toaster goes on, the kettle goes on, and all of a sudden the house uses a lot more electricity. At about 8 o'clock in the morning, the sun comes up and the solar system starts working and the house stops bringing electricity to the property. During the day, the house is not importing any electricity at all. And at night, at about 4 o'clock, sun starts to go down, less solar electricity is produced, and all of a sudden it's dinner time, and on goes the kettle and the oven and what have you, and then the house goes back to sleep. So during that period of the day in the middle, you're not actually bringing in any electricity at all. In fact, what's happening is you're exporting electricity to the grid. You're producing more than you need. Off it goes. In this particular case, it's a house in McKinnon with 6 solar panels, and it exported 3 kilowatt hours that day. That's a kilowatt hour, by the way, is 1,000 watts for 1 hour. So if these lights were 1,000 watts and we were sitting here together for an hour, that'd be 1 kilowatt hour. So that's 3 kilowatt hours. They would get paid $1.90 for that. Almost $2 for those 3 kilowatt hours. So if you're doing that every day, it really starts to add up. And I'll share the story of my house now. This is actually my real energy bill. and I got a $500 credit, which basically means they owe me $500. Isn't that nice? Bit of a change. And you can see the total due there is nil, and the due date is nil, which basically means I don't owe them any money. What I can do is I can get a cheque from them, and they will do that once a year. If you want it more than once a year through Red Energy, they will charge you a $10 administration fee. The other thing I can do is I can use this credit to pay my gas bill, which I will still have to pay, unfortunately. And so our household usage is 11 kilowatt hours a day on average. Okay, so we're pretty efficient because we have a lot of efficient appliances in.